And welcome to Flamecast. Todd Platz.
And I'm Matt Spielman.
And I'm a little down right now.
You're down? Why are you down? You still haven't used your free pass yet?
No. Yeah, it was all this afternoon, man. It hinged on this afternoon at about 3 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. I did see that. Laces. What holder doesn't know laces? I mean, you get it 2 in a row, and I can understand that. You get away with it once and think it's a new strategy, but you spin the ball the wrong way.
Yeah, well, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, yeah, the NFL game, Vikings versus Seattle, and
it was great for 3 quarters. A little boring, but great.
Yeah, Vikings just, oh man, they had that thing won. And I said to Sean, right before that, during the timeout and such, I'm like, now watch, they'll get all the way down there and they'll kick the field goal, use up all the time, or use all the time, kick the field goal, and lose. And I'm like, God, that better not be what happens. And it's exactly what happened.
Missed 27-yard field goal. Was it? I know they had another chip shot. Was that the shortest field goal attempt of the day?
Yes, it was. I mean, he is making ones from like 47 and whatever, and then it gets down to 27. And, wide left. So, yeah. There's next year, I guess. Anyways, well, of course we had the big movie that came out last month. I can't even talk now. I'm just so
third biggest movie in history now, unadjusted for inflation.
Yeah. Although, yeah, it'll probably reach there. It'll get to number 1. But if it doesn't, whoever wins the $1 billion Powerball coming up, go and buy some movie tickets. Push it over the edge. Come on.
I didn't think that's what I'd do with $1 billion. Push Star Wars over the edge.
Yep. There you go. You would be not only renowned for just winning the largest lottery ever, but for making a difference in Star Wars.
I don't think in net that would be a matter of admiration, though.
Yeah.
Probably more like derision.
Probably.
He spent that money on what?
Yeah. Well, of course, if you haven't seen it yet, like spoilers, but what the hell are you waiting for? I mean, come on.
Yeah, at some point, there's got to be like a statute of limitations on spoilers. It's like, if you don't make it by then it just doesn't count for you.
It's been, I mean, you've had how many weeks now? Come on. And for making that much money, it's like, who hasn't gone to see it? Yeah. Anyways, but yep, some of those major plot points that we've seen the last of Harrison Ford as Han Solo, I guess.
Well, but I just saw yesterday, and of course it's all still rumor and whatnot, right? But yesterday, supposedly a casting call included for episode 8 included some reference to working with or being seen with Han Solo.
Yeah, that was a fake.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Someone posted that maybe
that's logical, yes.
A week ago, but yeah, I had to post on that person's thread with a little picture from Deep Space Nine with Romulan holding up the data thing saying, "It's a fake!" So, yeah, that's already been knocked down officially. So, but, I mean, you kind of saw this coming, being that Ford kind of wanted him to die in Return of the Jedi, and it didn't happen. And
Yeah, I think it's okay. I mean, are you
Oh
saying
yeah.
otherwise people think it's not okay? I mean, people die. They're old. They're going to die of natural causes anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty soon.
Exactly. Um, um, and then you got people complaining about, oh, Carrie Fisher's just not, the way she used to be and stuff. It's like, well, maybe 30 years will do that to a person.
Now, see, knowing her sense of
Plus,
humor, I could imagine her wanting to like put on the chainmail bikini again, just to show everybody, ha, avert
yeah.
your eyes.
Although all the coke she did back then probably didn't help either. But
Yeah,
yeah,
she was a party animal.
yeah.
You mean her advice? Her advice to Ray not to go through all the crew. that's the movie shooting advice.
Oh yeah, there was that, wasn't there? But I mean, it's kind of nice to have the movie out of the way, and all the theories that were happening before just get shot down. Like Luke is Kylo Ren. Yeah, we didn't think so, but
yeah,
it's like, come on, people.
Yet another episode worth of movies, just as bad as all the others.
And Finn is Lando's son. It's like, okay, just because you get...
I still think he could be. There's nothing that says he can't be.
Well, I just think it's probably... Yeah, it's probably not probable because I'm sure there's more than 2 black people in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, but there's still amazing coincidences. And he gets to get in the Millennium Falcon, right? There's that whole... I think it's the Falcon taking care of all its old ex-owners. That's the real... It's like if Jar Jar could be a Sith Lord, then the Falcon can be a Jedi.
Yeah, and then you... Sorry. You got the theories coming out now, like, okay, who is Rey? And I'd like to hear your thought on this. So what's your theory?
My theory of what?
Of who is Rey?
Oh, I think she's got to be Luke's. Well, I saw a really interesting, I'll call it analysis, but theory that with the 3 young protagonists, that kind of matches what the Timothy Zahn books had for 3 protagonists. So, and this would be very much, and I'll say very much JJ, like he's only ever done Star Trek, but the whole reboot thing, kind of trying to have, it's really kind of Battlestar Galactica, trying to have echoes of the old and the new.
Yeah.
And so then Luke needs somebody, but we haven't met, a spouse of Luke, so it'd be Luke and who, or do Immaculate Conceptions also run in the Skywalker family? Maybe, could be.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Corey had thought of, and I'm like, I don't know about that.
But I think
that'd be reusing almost too much.
Yeah, just given how she reacts. Now, I did see someone try to posit, and it's really thin, that maybe she's Obi-Wan's, because it was Obi-Wan's voice a couple different ways in the whole lightsaber flashback thing. But I think the way that she reacted to the lightsaber, she's definitely a Skywalker, and you think she's got to be Luke's just because Han and Leia have one.
Yeah. Well, or maybe she's, another child of Han and Leia. That could be as well, but
it could be. I definitely think too the whole Han Solo scene sets up Leia to try the exact same thing at some point. And here, I apologize if this is future spoilers. I think Leia's going to do the same thing, but she'll manage to turn him because his hang-up was with his father, but it's his mother who's Force sensitive. So if she needs to be guided or influencing of him, she's the better one to do it. So that just seems to me to be a setup on a future episode.
She could just sit down with him, smoke some weed, and have a nice, mother-son chat.
Let's just go. Wasn't it Eric Idle's house? Let's just go to Eric Idle's house and have some hard liquor and tell Mama all about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure that. Well, I just saw one today that Corey had come across that what, she's a reincarnation of Anakin. I'm like, I just don't see that. That's kind
all
of
we
weak.
need is another Anakin. Does that mean that we're gonna have to change the Dagobah Force Ghost scenes to another person again? I mean, it could be. I mean, it'd be a terrible thing if it is, but it could be.
Yeah. Yeah, that one seemed kind of weak to me. Yeah.
You have to explore those things, right? In the scientific method, you have to explore all possibilities and throw out the crazy one.
And then there's the theory of, okay, who is the supreme leader? And of course, officially, he's a brand new character. You know, never been seen or whatever before. And I've seen some stuff where, oh, that's Darth Vader reincarnated or whatever.
Well, I don't think he's Vader. I do think and I'll say my favorite. Not that there's a lot of my favorite is that Snoke is Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, I've seen that too. That
Palpatine couldn't kill him. He's too strong, but somehow, and then it would make sense that he came back after Palpatine was dead. If Palpatine somehow put him on ice or something, or otherwise contained him, couldn't kill him, but got him out of the way, and then he's back.
Yeah.
So that's actually a pretty poetic way to weave it in.
Yeah, when he first came on the screen, and he's so huge and everything, and then as soon as the hollow emitter like turned off and he disappeared, I'm like, oh man, I bet he's only like a foot tall, and making up for inadequacies or something.
He's Yoda's evil cousin.
Yeah,
making up for inadequacies. Why doesn't everybody make their hollow representations gigantic?
Yeah, come on. So yeah, I'm sure we'll hear theories up the butt for the next year and a half. I guess I'm gonna stay away from any type of spoilers again.
You're gonna try.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're gonna do and I never finished Aftermath. I started it but didn't get to finish it, so I haven't really. Maybe it's better to read it this way to see. Everything was supposed to have hints about what was going to go on. I wonder if they're going to try that with the character movies to make them. When you say you're going to stay away from spoilers, does that mean you can't see Rogue One?
Oh, I'm going to see that.
Even if it has spoilers.
I mean, I'll stay away from the spoilers for that movie, but
you'll get up and get a popcorn refill.
I do have my bucket now of refillable popcorn, so
it's worth considering anyway.
So, yeah, that'll be the next one to look forward to. So that's what December of this year.
Not long at all.
Oh, it's coming up quick. See how that turns out.
That'll be nice. That's something that Star Wars fans haven't had is a dose of new canon content every year, right? It's like,
right.
I mean, it's definitely Marvel-ish, right? Not marvelous, but Marvel-ish. So it'll be interesting to see if we can keep up the excitement, because otherwise they're kind of like starving animals. It's been a decade. I need something. Come on. Even Trek gives me something.
Yeah. Speaking of Trek.
I
guess we can jump to one of the other topics here. The movie trailers. So, yeah, we got the trailer for Star Trek Beyond, and yeah,
is there a new one? I've seen one. I don't know if I'm behind or missing one or something.
No, there's just been the one.
Okay.
And
I have seen that.
Yeah.
Good for me.
Yes. I'm just gonna say I'm not impressed. I'm just like.
Well, it is an odd movie again, right?
Yeah, I thought we were done with the even and odd stuff.
You wish. We'll see. That remains to be proven.
I mean, I'll probably still go and see it, but I mean, it's just not looking all that great to me. As a fan of the older movies and such, Next Generation was kind of hit and miss, but I mean, I did like the new.
You're talking the movies of the Next Generation,
right? The movies. Well, I suppose you can call it a reboot movie. When that came out a few years ago, I mean, I like that. That was a decent movie, but after that, I'm just like, they're just not getting it right.
I liked Into Darkness. I'm not ashamed to say that, and I know people. It's funny because people are like, but there's so many lens flares. I'm like, really? That's the problem? It's like, okay, I can get over that. But I thought that was an interesting view of Khan, in the sense of accelerated exploration. It makes sense that they'd find him early and do all this. I'm not necessarily a fan of the whatever that was, the big ship thing, but I thought it was an interesting review of Khan. If they had brought him back or tried to make use of him as a tool.
Yeah. I mean, some of the plot elements I can agree with, but overall, I guess I was disappointed. Especially in the fact that they went and got Cumberbatch for Khan. I can't get over that.
Like him? Nah.
I mean, I like him as an actor and such, but I mean, they gotta stop trying to be always politically correct, because I mean, he's supposed to be of Indian descent, not British. I mean, come on. I mean, it's already been established, and
All right, that's fine then. Definitely Benedict is the star of the moment kind of guy, right? So that's true. But I thought he did a good job. I thought it was interesting.
He did, but any other movie he would have been like perfect, but nah, come on. So yeah, now we'll see what what's his name? Guy that plays Luther on the series.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but I know
Idris Elba.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be in Beyond, but from as far as I can tell, he's unrecognizable as himself because he's got all the makeup and stuff on. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But,
kind of like Simon Pegg. That was funny. I mean, it's not a spoiler, but when I finally understood who he played, I'm like, really?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like finding out in that scene with Rey and her Jedi mind trick on the Stormtrooper. The Stormtrooper was Daniel Craig.
Well, I'm not impressed with James Bond now. That was his early days.
Yeah. Is that all it takes? Come on. Doesn't Q have something for you there to...
He's like Dr. Johnny Fever. If he doesn't have a martini, you can't think straight.
Yeah, there we go. So, I mean, we've gotten a lot of trailers recently, and some of these came in front of The Force Awakens, and of course some didn't, but yeah, we also got a new Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice trailer. This one, including Wonder Woman in there, makes an appearance. I think everything about this trailer works, and it's going to be a great movie. However, I do have a problem with what's his name that's playing Lex Luthor. He's like... He seems like a reincarnation of the Riddler.
He's got the wrong universe. I think he's interested as young Lex, right? Because young Lex was a friend of Clark, right? So interesting.
Yeah.
And a lot of alternate universe kind of things do have Lex as more of a public figure. But
yeah.
It does. If you say Riddler, I'd almost say maybe a touch of Joker.
Yeah, maybe a hint of him as well. But he almost seems more like... I mean, as far as his appearance, he looks like Lex's son in the comic books.
Yeah. He ain't bald,
So
he ain't
it's
Lex.
kind of
That's
like,
what you're saying?
yeah.
Or does
I
it
mean,
happen there? Is it he falls into a vat of green something like Jack Nicholson and then he loses his hair? Or maybe
uh,
Superman rips it out by the roots.
what was it? It was no. Lex is doing some kind of scientific experiment and ends up what? He's got like a test tube of something or another, and because of Superman's or Superboy's actions, test tube stuff goes on his head, and there goes his hair, and that's a mortal crime. So, you made me bald.
Hair is manliness, after all.
Thanks a lot, man.
You know, art imitates life sometimes.
So should I get revenge against IBM, because I always blame it on IBM that that's when I started losing it.
I think they're already having revenge. I don't think their stock is doing too well.
Yeah, it's just poetic justice then. But yeah, we get to see. You've got Doomsday show up.
Yeah, that's there's a whole lot of Batman and Superman, and I'm not sure, because I love The Dark Knight Returns. So I'm not sure I'm gonna like bending The Dark Knight Returns into like the rest of the world. It's like, no, that's supposed to be the end of it, right? I mean, Batman's an old guy and he retires and blah blah blah. Not okay. Let's go start the Justice League. So I'm not sure yet. I think a lot of what's happened has been very early in the movie, and then the whole Doomsday comes and they realize, as I think is true, as soon as the world sees aliens, suddenly we won't be against each other so much. But I worry that, or there must be some kind of big plot twist, because everything is about, well, is Superman actually going to kill Batman, or can he survive? And then suddenly, no, we're teammates. It's like, okay, was that really good beer, or someone lost a bet, or Wonder Woman said you have to play nice, or she put on a full suit instead of a costume, or what?
Yeah, well, there's also been a rumor. I almost need to watch the trailer one more time, but to try to look for evidence of this. But there's been rumors that maybe Darkseid will end up showing up.
Yeah, I thought there have been stills of him in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I think even in the trailer, I think someone stop motioned the trailer, and there's like just like he's in the background and not brightly lit or anything.
See, that's why I said I need to see the trailer one more time. But
if
could be interesting.
Thanos is coming into the Marvel universe, they got to get Darkseid, the DC equivalent, right?
That's right. Something else that came across since the last time we podcasted: Independence Day Resurgence. Of course, this is going to be without Will Smith, because he's just too busy and wants too much money.
Jeff Goldblum, who made the whole movie, and I don't even say that quite facetiously, because he has my favorite lines. Although I don't think Jeff Goldblum actually programmed the cackling skull and crossbones virus, but I want that guy back. Whoever did that, that's who I need in the movie.
Yeah, there we go.
Because that skull and crossbones cackle is like the best line.
There we go. Let me send you a link here, because have you seen this one?
Well, I've seen a trailer.
Okay, there's only the one trailer.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's old Jeff Goldblum.
Yes. So yeah, they're back. They've got bigger ships.
Which is weird, because it's like, our ships are as big as your city. How much bigger do you need?
Yeah.
It's as big as the whole city. It's like, I don't think that was the problem. I think, kind of like a certain empire, you shouldn't have giant weapons that just you can hit with little snub-nosed fighters.
Yeah.
When will
Yeah.
they ever learn? Someone needs to update the villain book. Like Chapter 8, super weapons and how they'll win the battle for you, that should just get ripped out of there. Just don't even have it in the next copy. Because it's just not effective, bad guys.
I mean, how many times do you got to do it? Repeat history and fail once more.
I will say some of my colleagues in Europe that have seen it really do not like the Starkiller weapon at all. They're like, really? Another Death Star? It's just bigger? Really?
Yeah.
And so you have to give them a lot of U.S. fan chatter to talk them off the ledge, but they're not happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? Oh, whoops.
Well, it's one thing to make a movie stupidly, but it's another thing to portray people with certain tunnel vision or certain stupidity. So it's like, is it meant as kind of an irony, or do they really just think that way?
I mean, I thought they were kind of pushing it when they brought back a Death Star 2. So.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean,
they have Starkiller base.
So Death Star 2, it's just another Death Star. No, it's actually fully operational. Oh, okay. So it's just one big lure. It's one big Trojan horse. So that was cool. I mean, it was definitely like, okay, here we go again. But then, I get it. But now Starkiller was kind of just, all right, well, we don't have to travel anymore, because we couldn't explain that very well anyway.
All talk seems to be reverting back to Star Wars.
Well, it's a big deal, right? Again, we haven't been, well, we've talked about it in the last decade, but we haven't had anything new to talk about in the last decade, so of course it is.
Yeah. Well, we kind of mentioned part of this, but yeah, we've also got X-Men Apocalypse coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Now, have you seen this one?
No, I haven't, I don't think.
Okay. This is one that...
I've heard some rumors, like the whole Spider-Man in it, whatever. Or Spider-Man is in it, but I haven't seen the trailer. There you go.
I'm trying to get you a link here, and
okay. I was gonna say, show me the link, and then we can talk. Deadpool until then. Man, I saw a Deadpool toy. Like, they had a series of superhero masks, and one of them was Deadpool. And I'm like, really? I love Deadpool. I don't want my kids to be like him.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so we also had a new trailer for Deadpool, a red band trailer.
Well, is that really? I mean, I don't think that's new. That's new last month. People, I saw these articles that were talking like it was new last week. I'm like, really? I maybe red band's a type of trailer, but it's like, no, I know this.
Yeah, it's been over a month since we had the last podcast, so this kind of falls within that time frame. So
yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Of course.
I'm like, please just don't protest it, or like I said, don't have the kids come in. It's not for the kids.
Right. I hope people keep that in mind, because this looks like just a fun time. It's like Ant-Man times 10. I mean, Ant-Man was all fun and games, and more of a comedy than the other Marvel movies, and just
true.
Yeah, it hit on all the right levels there as a comedy, and Deadpool's just gonna blow that out of the water. I mean, from the moment that they put out that test footage, it was like, this has to be made, and it's gonna be awesome.
Well, yeah, there's definitely, and I remember when that first came out, there was a lot of discussion of, no, that's a hoax. It couldn't be that good. It couldn't be. The redemption of Ryan Reynolds in the superhero genre.
Yeah. Oh, this is like the character that Reynolds was born to play. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the stuff that he's put out. Just all the extras.
Mm-hmm.
Videos of him with a group of kids dressed up as Marvel characters for Halloween, and he had one for Christmas as well, and it was like, I mean, if the movie is as funny as what's been just put in those little moments themselves, it should do good.
Okay, I'm ready for the trailer. Are we done talking about it? I'll just let you know.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Whoa, that's loud.
Yeah, it is.
Winter is coming.
So I'm not sure about the whole, hey, Jennifer Lawrence is the hottest star in the universe. Let's give her a big part.
Eyes go all black.
Yeah, that means Charles is one of the 4 horsemen.
Bald.
Yeah, but not Patrick Stewart. What the hell?
Yeah.
That looks interesting.
Yeah, so I thought that looked interesting enough to say, yep. Well, I mean, I'm definitely going to go see it, but it's like, it looks like it'll be a good story.
Yeah, I worry. I mean, so it's like all 3 franchises, the Mutants, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and DC have like their galactic level supervillains now. It's like, okay, so what's going to be the story in a decade? We're all going to be rebooting again?
God, I hope not.
So I do worry about the escalation factor. It seems to come on really quickly. But we'll see. I mean, the comic book series have survived that, right? They've all been in the comic book series, and you can still say something else or do something else.
Right. So, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
How far they can take it, who knows? Maybe by then, that they'll kind of downplay comic book movies, but I think for now, they're in their prime, so.
Yeah, enjoy it while you got it.
Right. Well, I'm probably guessing you haven't seen any movies since the last time we talked, but...
Well, I did see Star Wars. I've not seen anything else.
Other than Star Wars, but everyone's seen Star Wars. If you haven't seen Star Wars, what are you doing? But
yeah, you shouldn't be listening to this podcast.
Yeah. Spoilers. But yeah, I think this came out, it came out before the last podcast, but I hadn't seen it until after. But I did go see Creed, which for those of you who don't know, that's basically another Rocky movie. Except Rocky is old and decrepit, and
thus reflecting real life.
Yeah. So, he's more the trainer type now. He's kind of like the Mickey of old. And
he wears the same hat. It's like the trainer's hat or something, like a relic.
Well, he was kind of always into his hats, but
true.
Yeah. Of course, now you've got. Of course, you know that the Creed family is involved in this movie. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called Creed. But yeah, you've got the son of Apollo Creed, and the story is actually a really decent story, and be surprised if it isn't up for some type of at least nominations when Academy Awards come through. So,
oh really? Wow.
Yeah, it's really decent.
I've not seen it, but not that it matters. We were we stayed overnight coming back to Minnesota, and there were a couple guys in the hotel lobby who had just come back from seeing it, and they were really raving about it.
Yeah. And it seems like everyone I talk to about it, they're like, yeah, this is a good movie. Of course, other people that I've talked to, they're like, they hadn't seen it only because, Rocky movies aren't their thing, but, overall, I'm getting, 100% positive on people that have seen it, so. Something you may want to check out if you haven't already. But although I think with Star Wars coming out, it kind of got pushed out of the theaters because
It'll
you
be
need.
back. If it is truly a Academy contender, then they always come back.
Yeah. Although, yeah, you'd think pretty soon they'd be starting to announce that it'll be out on Blu-ray and DVD and such, and on demand pretty soon here, I would bet. One to check out when it does. Yeah, I guess those are the only two movies I've seen recently, but it's been a busy season, so.
That's okay. Save it up. And unbelievable, February and March are going to be busy, right?
Yeah, I mean, February you've got Deadpool coming up. March you've got... That's Batman vs. Superman, isn't it?
Yep. And then when is Civil War out?
Yes, we also had a trailer for Captain America Civil War. We missed that in the trailers. That is coming up, I think it's, the first week of May? Or May 17th, maybe? That sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Scroll on my calendar here. Maybe May 6th? May 6th. Because I think it comes out the same weekend as the Minneapolis Comic-Con.
Oh, that's right. You said that last time.
Yeah. And that one, the trailer's been out for a little while. Have you seen this one?
I don't think so, actually.
Well, let's go and listen to this.
I've seen so few, I haven't even seen the trailers.
Iron Man takes a beating.
Well, supposedly someone dies, but you can see Rhodey down. Is that the major character that dies?
I don't know. I heard it might be Iron Man himself.
Well, there are contract considerations, right?
Yeah.
Iron Man died of contract expiration.
He's getting too old to play the part. Kill him off.
Well, he's Iron Man. You can always get another, right? I mean, you'll never have another Tony Stark, and it was great to launch the whole thing, but it's not like someone else can't wear a suit.
Yeah. So, yeah, it looks good. We'll have to, of course, check that out when it hits the theaters then. So, yeah, we've got a busy February, March, April, May. Yes, well, I don't know about April. What comes in April? Probably nothing.
No, that's that whole... is that when the Oscars are? They're earlier than that. They're February, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're earlier.
April's just spring break.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, as we were talking about Star Trek before, there's also a big story that happened. Oh, geez, 2 weeks ago. It was right around Christmas or the week after.
Really? Well, this is the week. No, I guess this isn't the week after. This is the week back to work.
Yeah.
It's just a lot like the week after Christmas.
Yeah. Fan film we've talked about earlier in earlier podcasts, anyways. Star Trek Axanar. CBS decided, nope, you can't do this, and filed a lawsuit against them. So, I guess we'll see how that goes. But I don't. Yeah, you don't really know what to believe anymore. Because I've heard so much, back and forth stuff, and I mean, there's talk of how Tony Todd, who was in Prelude to Axanar, didn't want anything to do with the Axanar project anymore because of the way things were funded, or how funds were handled, rather. And it kind of sounded like Alec Peters, the one who's kind of in charge of it, was paying himself a salary from the
Ooh.
funds, and yeah, that'd be a big
Ouch.
no-no if that's
Ouch.
truth. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what some media outlets have kind of reported. So I'm like, ugh.
Leave it to the humans to spoil a good thing.
And other talk I've heard is that because they reached that $1 million mark in their crowdfunding, they're like, we can't let them do this and upstage our own movie for the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, we spent $200 million, but our movie isn't quite as good.
Yeah. Which, I mean, might be the case, because the stuff they had for Axanar planned, it looked really good. So I'm like, Urgh. But, I mean, this could have an impact on, a lot of fan films.
Yep. The fan film movement.
Yeah, so, I mean, for Star Wars, even though it's Disney now, I think they've kind of treated fan films the same as they have previously, which is, let the fans have fun with it. It's just not, official kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And no one makes any money off it. Just it's all good with them.
Was one good thing, I think, and I think Lucasfilm had the most open policy toward.
Right.
They didn't have enough money to make any anyway, so you might as well.
Yeah. But yeah, the quality wasn't there with the fan films and such, but Axanar, oh my gosh, that looked like some quality stuff there, and with $1 million, you can get some good quality. And then using actors that, professional actors. So, it's kind of like, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Calling it a fan film or not. So, I guess that'll be kind of up to the legal system to determine.
Does that make us feel better?
Not really. I don't think it'll have too much of an impact on what we do. Just because we're never going to raise $1 million for a fan film. So, and our quality will never be that good unless I hire someone out.
It's just what retirement's around the corner, we could always think of something.
Yeah.
We won't spend all the time playing games. You can make some stuff too.
Well, if I won that next Powerball lottery, we could do a lot with that, man.
That's what you plan to do with it?
It would only be a fraction of the amount that I won, and we could have a
We'll do something
really
crazy like a
film.
Deadpool movie.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Well, as long as we're talking about fan films, we can do the fan film of the month. And this time I'm kind of straying away from your normal fan film for this month, but and if you've seen the other short films that these people have done, they're hilarious. It's basically taking the footage that's already there and putting in your own dialogue. Yep, I'm talking about the bad lips reading people.
And I do love those guys. I love the football ones. Are awesome.
Oh yeah, the football's good.
And that's even as they made fun of Harbaugh. They really picked on Harbaugh bad as the Niners.
Yeah,
that's the one. It's the Harbaugh ones that keep my wife watching it because she thinks those are hilarious.
Oh yeah, and they've done stuff for The Walking Dead, and there's other. They're not limited to one genre. They've expanded.
I love when they do even like the player introductions. I can't believe what they make out of it.
Yeah, they've got, of course, one movie apiece for the original trilogy, and the person that they have doing the voice of Darth Vader is Jack Black.
Oh, is it? I was
Yes.
thinking maybe Norm Macdonald sounded like. Okay, yeah, Jack Black. Yeah, it makes sense totally. That's when you know you've got some gravitas, and Jack Black says, "Yeah, I sign up for that."
Yeah. So yeah, I'll of course post links for all this stuff, but yeah, check those out and keep in mind that Jack Black is playing Darth Vader, and that's just hilarious in itself. So.
Indian C-3PO.
Yes.
That is not Aziz Ansari, is it? Because it sounds a lot like him.
Oh God! They do the credits at the end of at least one of them, because that's where I saw Jack Black's name, and I'm like, no way! But
I'm going to skip to the credits and see, because it sure sounds like Aziz Ansari as C-3PO. I have not seen it before, by the way. Even though I say I like bad lip reading, but Maya Rudolph is
yes.
Bill Hader? Oh my gosh. Well, no Aziz Ansari, but oh my gosh. Okay.
All right. And from there, I guess we'll do a commercial.
Escape pod landing. Where am I?
It's the new Star Wars Land of the Jawas that you put together. Action figures sold separately. You can move the action lever and make the Jawa capture R2-D2.
R2? Are you all right? What are they doing to you?
You can raise the elevator and make R2-D2 disappear into the sandcrawler.
Hang on, R2. I'm right behind you. Me too.
Kenner's new Star Wars Land of the Jawas. Action figures each sold separately.
And we're back. And you found those quite amusing, didn't you?
Well, I'm still in the middle of one because I jumped to the end to see the voice credits, but they are definitely worth. I mean, again, I was a fan of bad lip reading anyway. You didn't have to sell me on it, but these are good.
Yeah. No, I was looking for something to listen to while at work the other day.
Oh.
And the normal podcasts that I go to, none of them had updated to a more recent episode. So I'm looking around and what was it? I was listening to the Nerdist podcast, and they were talking about oh shoot, what was the show on G4? Attack of the Show.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I didn't even look that up. But yeah, they were talking about that, and they were saying the last episode of Attack of the Show, they had, I think it was in the closing scenes or whatever, but I know they had talked about Leo Laporte making an appearance there, because Leo was on, of course, Call for Help on, what was it, ZDNet? Is that what I think that's what the TV channel was back then, and then they became Tech TV, so they became Screensavers. But yeah, they were talking about them, and I'm like, geez, I wonder whatever happened to those people. And I go and look up Leo, and they're like, oh, he's on the new Screensavers, which is only online. I'm like, no way! So I go and check it out, and sure enough, they've been making new episodes since May, I think it was. And I don't know if you ever saw Tech TV when you had time and it was still on, but I mean, it was a good place to go and watch stuff where they would give you, tips on Windows, latest technology that that was can make enhancements for your computer experience and such, and just really interesting. And yeah, I started getting I fell down the rabbit hole, man, because it's like I go and watch that first episode after that, and then it's like, oh, now I gotta watch them all. So I'm like on episode 6 now, and
you're binge watching.
Yeah, well,
it's a slow binge.
A slow binge, yeah. But yeah, if there's any podcast that because I listen to so many.
So what else do you do at work, Todd?
I'm doing all this while working, but
I don't work with my ears. I work with my fingers and my eyes.
that's right.
My ears are available, and they're mine.
A lot of the podcasts, they all had, year-end kind of wrap-up type shows and such, but like the Nerdist podcast, although they did have one after that, which Jason Alexander was on. That's when they started talking about screensavers and Attack of the Show. Or maybe it was the one before. Anyways, but then, other ones I listened to, Hollywood Babylon, they were off. Stuck in the 80s. Listen to that one. That one is off. I also catch Will Wheaton's podcast, Radio Free Burrito.
Oh, he has a real one?
Yeah, but he hasn't done any since, it was like early November. So I'm like,
well, yeah, because CBS owns Big Bang Theory, right? Well, actually, Fox owns Big Bang Theory, but now his real podcast would be a fan version of the one that's on TV. So no, he can't do it anymore. He lost the rights because he put it on air.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you ever watch Impractical Jokers. Well, you don't watch too much TV recently.
No,
so.
maybe once in a while, but not very often.
Actually, Impractical Jokers, they had a TV commercial during, I think it was like right before the Vikings game came on CBS. I'm like, whoa.
Oh, I tuned in a couple minutes into it, so I didn't see that.
But Q and Sal have the What Say You podcast. So they actually made two new podcasts. One of them kind of being a really short thing, but and then I've got all the Kevin Smith ones, or Smodcast, Fat Man on Batman, Tell 'em Steve Dave, Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, and Fat Man on Batman is kind of funny because Kevin Smith gets all his information from comicbook.com. So he's basically looking at their website and kind of reporting on it and calling it his podcast.
There you go. Well, if no one else did it, then I guess that works.
Yeah. So, yeah, what website can we go to and rip off their information and make podcasts out of it?
I don't know. Do you rip them off, or you're acknowledging their credibility? I don't know.
Oh, there we go. That sounds better.
If you want them to allow you to continue to allow you to do it, maybe you should spin it a little bit.
Yeah, there we go. I had a person. I hope they contact me again, but I had a person contact me over YouTube on our YouTube channel there for Flaming Death Productions.
Whoa!
And they wanted to know about purchasing a copy of Yoda's Treasure. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. However, they went and emailed me using the email link on the website. And as I found out, yes, the email link does work. However, the email comes with the domain that I got. And being that it's a free domain, I don't know how you can do this, but the email only works one way. I can receive mail, but I can't send it out. How
like
dumb
LinkedIn
is that?
That is weird. And you paid for this?
No, it's free, but still, okay. I mean, come on.
That's
I can get
LinkedIn mail, right? It's a freemium. If you want email, if you want bi-directional email, as if that was a fancy feature, then you have to pay. Can you pay for real email?
I can, but I'm like, I don't want to. So I'm like, well, crap. I can get free email in other places, so I created a Gmail account. So the new email address for all Flaming Death Productions correspondence will now be flamingdeath.net@gmail.com. I couldn't just have flaming deaths because someone actually took that already. So, so I had to add the .net in there. So I had to do the same thing on the Twitter account as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. So anyways, yeah, we're already a third of the way into January, and it seems like just not too long ago we had all the holiday stuff. But we've already gone a third of the month. Of course, you came back to Minnesota for the holidays. We got to reconnect for about an hour.
About that.
Travis, I was kind of wondering about, because I had a New Year's Eve party, and invited a bunch of people to it, and just to, in the off event that he would actually be in Minnesota again, I invited Travis, and he put maybe down. So like, is he going to show up or not?
No. You're desperate to see him.
So, yeah, he didn't show. So, but I thought, well, the possibility was there. It didn't happen. So, eventually, at some point, we'll have to go and finish up our film we're doing, the audition. So, although maybe we'll wait until later in the year when things have kind of calmed down again. Other than that, yeah, I had a pretty busy time. Didn't have to travel much, though. I only had to travel, 30 miles away for one, and that was about it.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Unlike you.
30 miles. I travel that to go to work.
Yeah.
Oh, well. People have their lifestyles.
So... all right. I think we're about at that point. So it'll be easy this time. You don't have to compete to get your words in because Travis didn't show.
Yeah, that's the unknown behind the scenes coordination that makes a professional show. Know what order you go out in. You got to know the pecking order.
Yep. There we go. It's all right. That'll be Flamecast for this month. So I'm Todd Pletz.
And I'm Matt Spielman.
And that's a wrap.